They're so beautifully hidden at this time of the year. All right, let's go in there and see what we can have a look at. There are at least 2 adults there. Eggsy, there was 1 male here this morning, wasn't there? He's lying right there, is he? Thank you so much. So a little bit less instruction. Cat in Tampa, you say you can't believe how close that lioness got to young Eggsy this morning. It sounds amazing, I must say. Now we've got the male there, 2 females to the left, and the cubs that side. I think the cubs are likely to be more active than anyone else is. Let's go in here, let's see what the view's like. I just don't want to run the male over on the way to the cubs, he might get upset. Not so, Eggsy. And as you are riding Pinion, in fact there are 3 females. Maybe even 4. I think it's just the 3 of them. Hello, big fella. Just going to ease. I expect he will go straight back to sleep. Oh, these are the older cubs. 4 lionesses and the older cubs. Eggsy, is that all right for you? Little back. Say what? So we've got 5 cubs there. Thank you very much for telling me to watch my head, Eggsy. That's very good. You must learn to instruct me. That is correct. Fear not. Don't know if you heard him there, everybody. He said sorry after he told me to move my head. This is completely unnecessary. Brian and VM just slapped me. Now, take note. We've got the 5 older cubs here. I'm not sure where the others are today. I don't know if they were here this morning. Is this exactly the same sighting you had, Eggsy? Remember, we had dire predictions for that 1 injured cub. There were predictions that its pelvis was broken, its hip was dislocated, its femur was almost certainly rent in 2. And yet, here it is. And it's always amazing to see the unbelievable, I've lost the word, begins with R, Eggsy. No, not recovery. Oh, come on. The unbelievable resilience. There we go, Eggsy. The unbelievable resilience of these animals. Their ability to heal is astounding. This is wonderful. I'm hopefully going to settle in for a long session here. Any luck, they'll start to move around a bit. Ooh, now these lines are not going anywhere, especially that fat lump there. So let's go across to Steph, who has got a terrifyingly venomous insect. Not insect, arachnid, sorry. Sorry about Steph's frozen frame there, everybody. I'm not, of course, referring to his skeleton, but to the freezing of the broadcast frame. Now, Rebecca, would you just read out the profound information that has come from Annie Mal? Everybody, my mystery and my... Here we go. It's living, right. The song Live and Let Die, Paul McCartney and the Wings, which was ruined for me because I was not hearing the lyrics correctly. It's world in which we're living, not live in. I can't tell you the relief I feel right now. I'm not being the slightest bit sarcastic. It has bugged me forever. And now, Annie Mal, you have sorted that out for me. Thank you very much. I feel like a great weight has been lifted from my shoulders as we watch that ridiculous little lion cub. Isn't he cute? Oh, no, look at that. That's too much. If I was allowed to squeal, I would. Now remember, everyone, in the little cubs, we found 2 little lionesses and 1 little lion. Now let's see if we can't get an idea of what's going on here. I don't know if Brent managed to do that this morning. The only way to do it is to get a really good look behind the tail. Oops. Ooh, this is going to be good. I love seeing the males with the cubs. It's one of my favourite things. How cool is that? All we hear is how awful the males are with the babies. Oh, it's so fun when they do this. I just love it. And they've all got up, just like little human kids would. When Dad gets up, they all want to go and say hi. That doesn't normally happen with humans, though. He's just marking his territory and relieving himself, obviously. And look at the little ones. They're just so happy to be around Dad. It's my favourite lion thing, everyone. The males with the cubs.
How many vehicles are on?
That was the game drive radio. Sorry about that. Oh, that's just great. Let's see what happens here. We might try and move just now. Now he's doing some phlegm and grimace. So he's just testing the urine that he smelt, seeing what's in it. Oh, this is so cool. I'd love to try and move a bit, everyone, but I fear I'm going to break. As Rebecca says, she's exactly right. She says it's like they're waiting for story time. It's exactly what it's like. Oh. You see how they love him? It's so cool. Eggsy, are you getting a decent shot there? Are you satisfied with that, or would you like me to try and get through these blocks? Let me just move through this bush, everyone, slowly. Will you just tell me if you get hit by a tree, Eggsy, through the medium of a gentle scream? We've moved quite a lot, everybody. We've come closer. You lost signal, I'm afraid, because Eggsy had to put the aerial down to get under a fairly substantial bush. But I think we're in a better position now. We can see all the adults lying together. Now, I said they love to be around Dad. I'm not sure that he knows if he's the father or not. I'm pretty sure that they don't know who their father is, but they know that he's either their father or their uncle. Oh, this is great. Now, I'm wondering if I'm correct about their ages. I think the oldest ones, they were born on Torchwood, around a place called First Rock, and I think they were born in May. Is that correct? Maybe late May. May, June, July, August. Yeah, I'd put them at about... No, I'd say they're probably about 12 weeks old. Maybe, let's say 1st of June. If I'm wrong, then I apologize. So that would be June, July. No, I'm going to say May. I think that they're pushing sort of 14 weeks now. Then the younger ones, born probably just north of Gallagher Pan, they must be, you can see they just don't have quite the same shape yet. They don't have the gangliness of the others. That's an older one there. Then if you go completely to the right hand side, yeah, like that one there, that pale one there, that paler one, I think they're about 8 weeks old. Maybe 9 weeks old. And then, of course, the others just pushing maybe 6 weeks. So I think I've got that right. So let's go at the moment with 14, 9 and 6. Does everyone think that that sounds okay? I think I've got that correct. I also just want to grab the binos now and see if we can't try and get the sexes of them all. That's a little lion. That's a male there, the one that just stood up with his flicking his tail there. Hello Jay Atkinson, good question. You ask, why do lions chew branches? Or same reason. There's another male, there's 2 males there. Someone's just rolled over. They chew branches for the same reason that dogs chew branches, and the same reason that we give teething rings to kids. It just helps to develop the jaw muscles, which they of course have to develop if they're going to be successful lions. It also probably helps with the teething process, and I think because they do lose these teeth, you know, they have milk teeth that then fall out, and then they get their permanent teeth, and I think that's probably a fairly painful process in the same way that it is for human beings, and the chewing just helps that. But I also think there's just a bit of play behavior. Play behavior, of course, plays a very important role from a behavioral and a physiological point of view. It helps them to, it helps the muscles to develop, the nervous system to develop fully, and so that's all part of it. But I think it's largely to develop those jaw muscles. Yeah, we've definitely got 2 males in this group of 5. The 2 on the left-hand side there, yep, that's one of them. The one next to him is also male. Those are 2 males. And we'll see about the others. Of course, they'll probably get in amongst each other, and then I won't know the difference anymore. It's so difficult to try and understand the difference between the 2 cubs or between the different individuals, because they're not like leopards. They don't have those unique spot patterns. You know that when we had they were George and Charlotte, of course, now Shongilia and Hosanna, when they were very little, from very early on, they had different coloured eyes, they had very obviously different spot patterns, and these chaps just don't have that. If you have enough time, you can count the whisker spots just next to the nose, but I mean, if you see them quickly, it's almost impossible to do. Oh, this is a fantastic sighting. All these lions, and of course lion adults tend to be deeply boring at this time of the day because all they do is snooze, as these ones are doing. But the little ones, well, a bit like little human beings. They're not a huge fan of the afternoon nap. That one looks like it's spoiling to Rena, all cats like cuddling. You say, is it normal for the males to be around the females like this, so close you thought they liked to keep their distance? The males don't always like to keep their distance. In fact, I would suggest quite strongly that it's the females who prefer to keep their distance from the males. That's because the males tend to be largely scavengers, or they'll come and steal food from the females. They'll only really want to be around these females when they're in estrus. I think Amber Eyes is probably in estrus, and Amber Eyes is this one right close to us here. That's her there. And they're social. They like to be social. They like to be with each other, and so no, I don't think this is unusual at all. I think it's quite usual. It's a beautiful little sighting we have going here. So exhausted. Alright, while these cats are flat doing nothing at all, let's head across to Brent Leo Smith, who's on Cheetah Plains, and get an update from him. Hello everybody. There seems to be a little bit of action going on here. I'm not sure what that female's doing. She's now obviously doing the phlegm and grimace. The little youngster has come up to her, up to him, and he's starting to yowl and yelp a bit, and he went up to the lioness quite close to us, and he tried to sort of suckle from her, and she growled at him. And now the little ones are getting active. I think they're getting hungry, you know. And listen to the noises. The most wonderful noises. Jared, I don't know the answer to this question. You say, has Amber Eyes ever had cubs of her own? Given her age, I would assume that she has. Where they are, I don't know. Jared, you know, I only got here just over a year ago, and she hasn't had cubs while I've been here. But I'm assuming, given her age, I think she's about probably 5 or 6. I'm pretty sure she would have had cubs. I did make a mistake, everyone. It's not Amber Eyes who's so close to us. Look at them all coming up now. And they will... This is going to be an interesting little thing for everyone to see. Lions do cross-suckle, like I've said before. And now the one on the left-hand side of your picture is not happy with this situation. Being much less tolerant of the whole situation than the other one. He's loving having the little ones around. Look. Ooh, this is interesting. Go back, yeah, look at the male. Yeah. Is it still eggsy? Well, as they say, that escalated quickly. Gee whiz. That was astounding. They're all roaring, basically. Those little ones are roaring. I don't know what precipitated that. I've got no idea. He's now got a cut above his nose, the male does. He sat down very close to us. I'm not going to move. Really quite astounding. Okay, well, while we try and figure out what's going on here, let's go to Brent. He's got some little birds flying around. Listen. Those are the little ones fighting. Listen to that. Now, that is what they're going to have to do when they're older. That's how they will fight over meat. Every kill they ever go to, that is what they will do to each other. And they look so sweet and calm and playful now. But lions are by no stretch of the imagination an egalitarian society. It's each for his own. And she's now getting very cross with them. They're about to cop a horrible beating. when she twists her mouth up like that, I've got to tell you, my blood goes cold. She lifts her lip like that, and that unbelievable deep throaty roar comes out of somewhere almost beyond her body. My heart is still pounding after that altercation they had. I'm sure it's got to do with one of these females being in estrus. Rena, you say, is this normal that happened, and should we be panicking? Rena, the second part of your question is easy to answer. You should not be panicking. Panicking around lions fighting is a bad idea. Panicking most of the time is a bad idea. Rena, but is it normal or not? Yeah, it probably is, you know. I think it's because Amber Eyes is in estrus, and I think it's creating a bit of consternation. In fact, you may well find that two of these lionesses are in estrus, that the two lying with the male, so those two there, it's easily possible that those two are both in estrus. Why he should then have been attacked by one of them, I don't know. But you see, with lions, what happens is things start to escalate very quickly. And Rebecca's just said in my ear, jealousy. Yes, it might be a bit of jealousy, but I don't think so. Normally it's the males that are jealous, not the females. It's possible. But once they get... It's so easy to rile them up. Once they're all riled up, then it escalates. It escalates so fast. And I think that's why these Birmingham boys killed 3 of the lionesses of the Nkuhuma Pride when they took over here, or when they started taking over here. I think it so quickly escalates into massive aggression that there's an overcompensation, there's an overreaction to certain situations that don't require it. And that definitely helps them when they're on the hunt, or when they're trying to fight off other lions, or when they're trying to fight off hyenas from a kill, or when they're trying to kill something as big as a buffalo or a giraffe. Cheryl, you wondering if lions are ever... Listen to that. Cheryl, you're wondering if lions are ever infertile. I imagine sometimes, yes. But remember that, well, I guess like with any species, infertility is probably very uncommon, because clearly if you are infertile you can't leave offspring, and I would imagine that infertility would be possibly genetic, most likely genetic in cause, so unlikely to be environmental, well, certainly with lions. She's going to get cross now, and I think it's hurting her. Can you imagine those little things fighting there over her milk, over her teats, which must be quite sensitive? They've all got rather vicious little teeth now. Meanwhile, away from them, the other lioness, the other mother, is just fast asleep, while her 2 very well-mannered cubs feed away. I wonder if she's not short of milk. Maybe they haven't eaten sufficient for a little while. I must confess that those 3 don't look quite as well fed as these 2 here. Badly mannered little things. She's being tremendously patient with them now. She's lying down. Unbelievable. And that very sweet little sound that they make very quickly escalated into a horrible, rasping kind of growl as they savaged each other. Oof. Andrew, you say how many lionesses would kill a male? Andrew, I think at least 5. 4 or 5 of them. They are so powerful, those males, and they're built to fight. The females don't fight nearly as much. One of the major reasons a male has that mane is so that he can fight and fight with other males. He's a good sort of, not quite double the size of them. He's about, say, 1.9 times the size of them, so we've got 90% of them again. He's got much bigger muscle mass. He's built to fight. He's designed to fight. His whole mane is made for him so that he can fight and protect his neck. Maybe 3 or 4. I don't know that it's ever happened. I've certainly never heard of it happening. I imagine it's certainly possible it could happen. Now look, here we go with some cross-suckling. Look at this. Look. Cat, you're wondering whether... I'm just going to ask you a question again, sorry, so that I get it exactly. Just watch this. Cat, you're wondering or learned. So have they watched the males and females fighting? So now she's cross-suckling them. See that? So the two, I think the two there on the right-hand side of your screen, the two on the right are the same age. I think they're hers. And that other little one has come from the other mother. And I think this female's producing more milk than the other one. Her 2 cubs look bigger, look better fed, and they're not fighting anymore. You see that? Romy, unlike with human beings, the mother of these cubs will not take issue with an aunt disciplining her cubs. Normally it's kind of a collective effort by the whole pride. I imagine if an aunt who didn't have youngsters began being too vicious with them, then there might be some kind of kickback or reaction from the mother. Listen to this growling now. Oh, sounds like Brent's got something fascinating. Let's quickly go across to him. This is fantastic that you've got these 2 sightings, everybody, of our most iconic cats, of course. Brent said he was going to go to Cheetah Plains and look for Nkanyeni, and, well, that's exactly what he did. The lion cubs are now very active. They've finished fighting over their milk, and I cannot see anyone with a limp. So the dire predictions of death for that cub who was injured at the buffalo kill did not come true, thankfully. I'm still trying to gauge the sex of all of them. They've all been playing with each other now and playing with sticks. They seem to get over their quarrels much more quickly than human beings do. They don't hold resentments. It's so sweet. And the mother's, of course, doing not much at all. The male fast asleep. He's got a nasty nick on his nose from that little fight they had. Now that's a knob thorn that lion is chewing, clearly not affected by the thorns that you and I wouldn't put our hands to, let alone our teeth. So I think you'll find that they have a far more resilient sort of pain threshold than ours. There you see, I used the word resilient again, Eggsy. Afternoon, Mike. There seems to be two, or at least one leopard sighting on Buffalo's Hook with the Mvula, and these Nkuhuma Pride is on Nyala Road. 2 stations here, one making his way, but I will make space as soon as the next one comes. Alright everybody, we're going to stay here for a little bit longer. I might have to move out. If I don't, that's not a problem. Let's go back across to Nkanyeni, who's now moving. It is a great relief that Nkanyeni lay down because these cubs are starting to get playful. We are going to have to leave just now, everybody. It's a 2-vehicle sighting, and there are 2 people coming to have a look here. So we're going to pull out as soon as the next person gets here. So let's just enjoy them for the last few minutes before we have to go, and we'll go see what else we can find. We might find some elephants or anything else. And just to keep you posted, you may have heard me talk on the radio there. I said Mvula was on Buffalo's Hook with a warthog. I was, in fact, telling the truth. Mvula is on Buffalo's Hook. He did kill a warthog today. It's his 2nd major kill in the last 3 days. And Shiluva is not too far behind. So I don't know if they're still mating or not, but they might be. And maybe Mvula is going to have some new little cubs. That'll be very nice. Still haven't got the complete sexing of these little cubs, because every time I think I get getting a handle on it, they start to sort of play around, and then I can't recognize one from the other. Hello, Aaron. A good question from you about whether the father of these lions of these cubs would protect them from other male lions. The answer, Aaron, is indirectly. Yes, they would. So indirectly, the father is defending this territory from marauding males. He would not... Well, I mean, look, if a marauding male came along across this sighting, he would absolutely fight for them. Would he be fighting for them, or would he be fighting for his territory? By fighting for his territory, he is achieving both ends at one time. So whether there's a conscious decision from him to try and protect these cubs, I don't believe so, no. But this is his turf, this is his territory, this is where he and his brothers have set themselves up. They dominate the Nkuhuma Pride, the Styx Pride, and most likely the Torchwood Pride off to the east of us. And those are their 3 prides. And they will not put up with any incursions from other males, and that indirectly protects their cubs. Alright, everybody, we're going to have to leave now, so before this other vehicle gets in, we're going to start up and move back a bit so that they can get in.